Often in biology and in environmental systems, we end up collecting discontinuous data or categorical data. And the best way to represent that is with a bar graph. So in this lesson, we're going to learn how to create a basic bar graph using LoggerPro. For our example, we're going to use the number of each color of Skittles that were found in a typical bag of Skittles. So the first thing we'll do is set up our x-axis data by double-clicking on the X and getting the manual columns option. And this we will call the color of Skittles. For our short name, we'll just call it C. And since there aren't really any units, then we'll just leave it blank. But we do want to treat this data not as numeric data, but as text. And click OK. And you can see that now down here on the x-axis, we have the color of Skittles. On the y-axis, double-click here. This will be the number of each color. And we can just call that an N. And for our units, we'll just give it the number sign or the pound sign. And since this will be numerical data, we'll leave this as numeric and click Done. So now both of our axes are labeled appropriately. If we now double click on the graph, we get the graph options window, and this is where we'll put the title of our graph, the number of each color of Skittles in a package. Correct my typing there. And since this is going to be a bar graph, I'm going to make sure that here I click the option for bar graph. And I also want to go down to minor tick style and enter that as a solid. Then under axes options, I want to make all of my values major ticks. And this will make sure that each of the different colors that I end will end up being a tick sign on the axes. And I'll click OK. All right, now I'm ready to enter the data that I've collected. Of the yellow Skittles in a bag, we found 38. For the green, we found 45. For the red, we found 50. For the purple, we found 40. And for the orange, we found 52. And you can see that here now I've got a bar graph that's showing the name of each color and the number of each of those that were in the package. Now I want to make sure that I scale this appropriately, so I can go over here and click on the axis and drag that axis to spread out the graph to fill up my page, and do the same thing here with the y-axis for this. Now you can play around with the different colors, but I haven't been able to find a way to make, for instance, this graph yellow, this one green, and this one red. I think that's beyond the capabilities of LoggerPro.